Hi, today we're working on activity 38, the Gap2. Um, it talks about in the activity that we had done part of this before in activity 7. Since we started on activity 10, you did not do it before. But it is readily available to type the data on page 90, the second page of activity 38. So please type the data so that it looks like this. I know it's a lot of data, but this is an example of an inventory. And inventories tend to be quite long. You can imagine if you walked into a store and you had to have an inventory of every single item that was in there. And not only do you have, the item, but you also have how many there are and the price point and all of that. So that's kind of what stores have to keep as an inventory. Libraries keep an inventory of their books, and all kinds of different organizations keep different styles of inventory. So, but a retail inventory is pretty easy to understand, although it's usually a fairly complex thing to look at. All right, so we're doing a very simplified version. Don't get excited. And so you want to type that up, and then basically, because you are not starting from something that's already done, then you need to start at number 4 in, number 3. We're going to put the column headings in for G and H, which will be in your data, but they want to make sure that you bold those. So we're just going to select those and bold those. So that's where we're starting. Then we're going to move on to number 4, and we're going to center align columns G and H. So we're going to select columns G and H and center align those, and that's right up here. All right, so that's good. Number 5, we're going to type additional data shown in cells A17 and A30. So the additional data is going to be total items. So if you type that, you're already good to go. Sorry about that. That's like really weird. But and then we want to compute the formulas for the first item as follows. So we're going to go to that markup thing, and we're going to go to G8. And we want to put in a formula that is going to give us the selling price and then minus the unit cost. So that's going to give us how much we've marked it up, or how much basically we're going to make on it. And so to do that, we need to type in equals and then put in F8 minus E8. Okay, so it's going to be equals F8 minus E8. Press enter, and you should get something like that. In the next cell, in H8, we're going to put in a formula to figure out the percent of markup, and we need that to be, we need to put in there equals G8, and then we're going to use that slash, forward slash that's below the question mark for division, divided by E8. Okay. So, and then we're going to basically draw those down. Okay? So, we're going to pull that down there. And it wants us to basically do the same thing for women's wear. And we did that once before with, I think it was the NFL one. We're just going to right click and we're going to copy that formula. And we're going to paste it over here. And we only have to do this twice, so that's good. And then we're going to pull that down. All right, and so do the same thing here in column H. Pull it down. Oops, well, that wasn't good. Control Z gets us back to where we want to be. All right, so now we're going to pull that down, and then we're going to click on that first one, copy, paste it in here, and we're going to draw that down. Okay, so then we want to format these. So we're going to format E through 29, E8. So over here, E8 through G29 as currency with 2 decimal places and the dollar symbol. So we want to right click, format cells, currency, 2 decimal places, and choose the symbol $, and click OK. And then we're going to format H8 through 29, and we're going to format those as percentage, and it would like us to display 2 decimal places. So we will do that and click OK, and we have some percentages there. Okay. All right, in cells B17 and B30, we're going to use the count function. Now this is something that's really totally new for you, so we definitely want to pay attention. Okay, so to use the count function, we are going to determine the number of items in menswear and women's wear. And so in B17, we are going to click there, and it would like us to type the count idea. So here we're going to go to equals and then type in COU, and it's going to come up there, and we can double click it. And then it's sort of like anything else that we've done where we double clicked it, like minimum and maximum and so forth. And we just want to put in what it is we're looking for. We're looking for B8, then that colon, because that means 2, B8 to B16. And we're going to press enter. Oops, sorry. And that parenthesis. Forgive me. Oh my goodness. And then press enter. And it should tell us how many items we have. We have 9. Okay? So I know it seems like kind of like a lot to type for 9, and you could count them. But assume you have a huge inventory and you have hundreds of thousands of items, maybe millions. So you would definitely not want to count all of those, and you can just put in a formula. Same thing here, and I will be looking for the formulas, so don't just type in the numbers. We want to start typing in count, double click it, and then put in B19, and then colon, B29, and end, oops, sorry, 9, and then end that parenthesis. Okay, we're going to find that we have 11 there. Okay, so that's going to give us the count that we want. Okay, in number 11, it wants you to select out cells A1 through H30. It's going to give you that little area right there. Okay, and then it would like you to use the auto format feature to list 2. Now, this book is a little older, and that's something that you could do it, but it would involve a lot of different steps. But to give you something that looks very much like a list 2, we're going to do something a little easier. And there's the reason that you can do it. That's great. But basically, this simple way to do it is, it's the update. So we're going to go up to Format as Table. And do you see that up there in the styles? And then we're going to look at some of these fun different styles here. And we're going to choose one of them in medium. I'm going to pick the blue one in medium and click OK. And that's basically very similar to what a list 2 looks like from days ago. And so we can see that, you know, there is all of this column stuff here. We can uncheck that filter button, and those little down things will go away. So we can, don't worry about the column part, because when we do the print preview, as you remember I showed you before when we were doing headers and footers, you can see what a nice print preview that's going to be. And with an inventory, it makes it much easier to kind of follow along. So if you start with this particular number and you're looking, you know, you realize you're in the white row, and so that way you can kind of like not lose your places easily. So that's why they want you to do a list here, and you know, as far as the auto format is concerned. All right, so then we're going to insert a header and footer, and again insert up at the top here, and then text, and then header footer, and we are going to want to put in for the header activity 38 and your name, and then we want to tab over and put in the Gap2, and then we're going to tab over and put in the current date using the button up here. We're going to hit the footer button, and we are going to choose page number, and so page and 1 is good there, and I believe that is all we want to do there. So that's going to look like, mine might clear over, so if that happens to you, don't worry, yours is still there. All right, and so that's what we want. We want to save that then as the Gap2 or as activity 38. And we want to then, once we save it, send it to Canvas. Okay? All right, and that's what we're doing today.